Hey guys, welcome back. In this lesson, I want to discuss how to link something versus importing it. Now, 99% of the time, I'll choose to link a file rather than import it. I do this because it saves time, it cuts down on file sizes, it's generally just a better method. Now, if you do prefer to import files, you're totally able to do so, but be aware that they will be nested in your files. So it's going to weigh down your file size, and especially if they're not native to Revit files, they may cause errors down the road. So most of the time, I'll link something in. To do that, I'll create a drafting view by going to View and selecting Drafting View. Now, drafting views are great because they're kind of like a blank canvas in that you can draw pretty much anything that you want. Drafting views are also good for details, which I'll go into in the next tutorial. So for this example, I'll just create a 1-inch scale view, and I'll call it Linked Drafting View. I'll hit OK, and now it's been created. If you go into the project browser and scroll down to Drafting Views, then you'll be able to see the linked drafting view we created. Now, to link something in, I'll go to the Insert tab, and then from under the Link panel, I'll select Link CAD. Now again, you can also choose Import CAD, but that'll import all of the data and nest it into your file. Another problem with importing is that if you have to make revisions, then you would actually have to manually delete that information and then re-import the file into your project. Linking, on the other hand, doesn't nest in that information. It acts more like an XREF, and just clips in the information when you need it. And again, as we mentioned, it doesn't weigh down your file size. So we'll go with Link CAD. We'll click on the icon, and then we'll link in this example file. You'll see that you have a bunch of options. When it comes to positioning, you almost always, even in Revit files, want to go origin to origin. If you choose center to center, it'll go with the center of your view. Origin to origin, on the other hand, is what you're going to want if you're linking in mechanical or electrical files, because as long as you provided those files with the necessary data from Revit, it will link them in to the correct nested location. So what that means is if you give your Revit file to someone else to let them create the mechanical or electrical systems, if they've chosen origin to origin, then all the systems that they've added in, when you link that file back in and do it origin to origin as well. So you technically have the ability to use center to center, but it could mess things up. You could always set it manually, but that could still cause problems. Most of the time, auto origin to origin is the way to go. You can also display your colors however you like. In this case, I'll do black and white since I'm linking an AutoCAD file. I don't really need the information shown with any color. Under Layers, you can link all the levels of your file, only the visible layers of the file, or you can specify. For this example, I'm going to go with all, because that example file doesn't have much in it. And then you can also choose what type of units you want to import under. I normally go with Auto Detect, and I've never had a problem with it. So I'll click Open, and you can see down in the detail, this is an example of linking. And this is basically the extent of my AutoCAD file. And so what I'm going to do now, first I'm going to throw this view onto a sheet. So we'll just drag it on there. It doesn't have to be on the same sheet that you've been using. Sometimes though I like to put it on an existing sheet so I know what scale is most appropriate. So I'll just make it a little bigger. Alright, now what if I wanted to add something into this linked view? So I'll go back to my linked drafting view, and let's say that I want to change this file. Well, in that case, what I will do is open up AutoCAD. So, give me just 1 second here. Okay, so we've opened up the file that we linked in AutoCAD, and I'm just going to make an X mark through my file. So all I'm doing is just altering this file ever so slightly. Once I've done that, I will hit Escape and then I will save the file. So by saving it, I've updated the file that we link to, but you'll notice in Revit that it doesn't automatically update. And that's actually good, because otherwise Revit would constantly be updating stuff, and that could cause major crashes. So what we'll do is go up to Manage Links, And you can see Revit links, IFC links, and also AutoCAD links. And so you can load it, unload it, reload it. You can reload from, you can import, add, or remove. In this case, I want to click reload, since I've updated and saved my original file. And then once I hit OK, you can see that we have the X mark. So you just have to go to Manage Links, CAD Formats, and Reload. If you had imported the file, on the other hand, you would not have this option available to you. In that case, you would actually have to take your imported data, delete it, and then re-import the file once the changes were made. And this will cost you time and energy. Alright guys, those are the essentials of importing and linking files in Revit. And keep in mind that all the same principles apply if you were importing or linking a Revit file. You usually want to link them in because you don't need the mechanical systems in your Revit file. You just want them referenced in it. So when you're dealing with drawings, when you're dealing with clashes and detections, you might link those in. And you might give them to contractors like structural engineers, plumbing and electrical engineers, and they'd be imported. Alright, see you in the next video.